Should you go to film school? Let's talk. Short answer, and you might not like this answer. It really depends on what it is you are seeking from the film school. A lot of filmmakers came from film school, and some of them did not even go to film school. Either pathway works. In terms of myself, I didn't go to film school. I went to marketing school instead. But I've been working consistently in the screen industry, mostly in the script and marketing department. At the moment, I'm also developing my own web series, and some of my own personal projects have been selected to be part of some film festivals. I don't have extensive credit yet, but I am working towards it for sure. In addition to working, I am in acting school, specifically learning acting in performing arts. So I want to draw from my two experiences of working without a film degree as well as studying for performing arts. They're a little bit different, but I think there are some parts that could be translated. But I also heard some things from my friends who went to film school, so I will be also drawing in their experiences into our conversation today. First of all, let's break down some myths. Myth 1. A film degree is useless. This is not entirely true. Useless is a very loaded term, and I feel like this perception has a lot to do with the fact that many people look down upon art. Going to film school means specializing in something very specific. But just because you're learning something specific, it doesn't mean that there aren't skills that you can still apply to other jobs. Being a director means you have leadership skill, you have communication skills to convey your ideas, or you are calm under pressure. Being a writer means you have communication skills, written or verbal. Being a producer means you are organized and you have good administration skills. I think the perception that the film degree is useless is because it doesn't lead to what people would consider success in the conventional sense. Work in the screen industry is not a 9 to 5. You are essentially freelancing, and there might be moments where you are unemployed for a very long stretch of time, waiting for your next gig. Sometimes you have to pick up other jobs to make ends meet, like I do freelance graphic design, note-taking, and YouTube as well. So for some people, the fact that the job is very unstable is not a definition of success. But just because you are in this industry, it doesn't mean you can't get other jobs in other industries as well, because the skills that you get from film school can be used in other jobs. So no, I don't think it is entirely useless. Myth 2. You need a film degree to get a job in film. It's also not entirely true, but I see where this sentiment is coming from. This is also something that I see happening a lot in other industries. Like, I don't have statistics to back this up, but I'm seeing more job descriptions say that workplaces require you to have like a degree or a qualification in a relevant field to apply. This is just my personal opinion, but I feel like workplaces nowadays have an increasing aversion to training people. Maybe because they don't have the resource, or maybe they don't have the money to do so. If hirers see you with a particular training or a degree, they're a bit more reassured that you know what it is you're doing if you get hired. And I'll be honest, sometimes a similar thing happened in the screen industry, because productions have like a finite timeline, right? Investing long-term in training people might not be as feasible, because what if the person does not, achieve that level of skill that you need before the end of the production? Sometimes it's just easier to hire people who get recommended to you because you know they have the experience and you know they will get the job done. This is what mostly happens in the screen industry, and I feel this is the biggest barrier to entry. Jobs are rarely advertised on job boards because people hire people they know instead of receiving applications. So the jobs kind of circulate within this specific bubble. But that is not to say a film degree is a must for you to have, because I feel more than anything, people in this industry value whether or not you are reliable and you are good to work with. If you can get an in and you can demonstrate that you work well with others and that you are reliable, doors will open for you. But I acknowledge that getting the first job is the hard part. That's why a lot of people encourage you to volunteer first, so you can demonstrate how reliable you are, and then hopefully from there you can get jobs and then work your way up. Myth 3. You can get a network from being in film school. This is tricky. Yes, most of the teachers in film school tend to be industry professionals, so you kind of have that in to the industry. At the same time, I also think you can still find a community and meet people outside of film school. Like for example, through local networking sessions or arts organizations. Also, if there are local screenings or film festivals, definitely go there. Sometimes these meetups require you to pay because organizing these meetups require some time and money as well. But they usually wouldn't be too costly, at least not as costly as you would if you pay for a film school. What I also did to build my network, and the results to this might vary, what I did was I looked for emails of production companies and then I requested a general meeting just to introduce myself. Like, I'm not pitching my projects or anything like that. I just wanted a meeting to meet the producers there, to just get a sense of the industry and to also introduce myself and my desires of becoming a writer or an actor. But the basic idea is to keep it general and to not make it seem like you are only contacting the production company because you want to pitch them projects. But something I want to caution when building your network is that I observe that a lot of people think having a large network means that you are in. In my opinion, it is still up to you to show initiative and to nurture the professional relationship. I know a bunch of people in the industry, but it is usually the people that I regularly catch up with and actually formed a strong professional working relationship who gives me my opportunities because they know me as a person and so they can vouch for me. So yes, you can get a network from film school, but you can also get a network outside of film school. What matters most is whether or not you nurture that relationship, because if you want it to generate results, you need to have like a strong bond with this person you are networking with. Quality over quantity. Okay, so mid checkpoint, how do we feel, team? Do we need some water break? Cause I sure do. Hey. It might feel like what I've been talking about kind of skew towards me saying, oh, you don't really need film school, but I still think there is value in going to film school. First of all, in film school, you can get an actual appreciation for the art form. For me, in acting school, I am learning so much about the world of theater, and it made me appreciate it even more. We talk a lot about history and genres that I never thought I would enjoy, but ended up loving. And I think the appreciation also comes from the fact that the teachers are really passionate about the art form. So it's like their appreciation and excitement rub off on me. And for certain schools as well, it is a safe space for people to experiment and to fail. You can treat the school as a professional workplace, but when you make mistakes, it's not as egregious and you also have this safety net. At my acting school, I make a lot of mistakes, and I'm comforted in knowing that if I fail, I can go to my teacher and debrief and find ways in which I can improve next time. Film school is also a place where you can meet like-minded people to collaborate with maybe in the future. And my favorite thing about going to school is getting the analytical skills. You learn how to analyze art and understand what aspects of it you like so you can incorporate it in your future work. All this to say, again, before you go to film school, you need to really ask yourself what it is that you want from it, especially, considering how expensive these things get. For me, I decided to go to marketing school because Asian parents, but also because I think marketing is quite adjacent to filmmaking. Like if I'm making a commercial, I can treat it like I'm making a film. I also feel like I will be okay with learning how to write scripts from free resources like on YouTube, so I can refer to those things instead of going to film school. However, on the flip side of that, I wanted to go to acting school because I don't know anything about acting, and I wanted to have mentors that I can talk to so I can get specific feedback about my acting. And I know nothing about theater or performing arts, so going to school seems like a natural step for me. So before deciding, you can research whether going to film school is your next step, and if it is, which school you should go to. I highly recommend downloading or requesting course guides from the schools so you can specifically see what they teach each semester. From there, you can ask yourself if these things are what you want to learn. You can also find alumni's opinions or experiences by going to Reddit or even watching a YouTube video like this one. Thank you for watching, by the way. I can't believe I forgot to mention open days. You can go to the school, get tours, ask questions in person too. If you want to go further, you can even go to LinkedIn and maybe look for people and then message them there to ask about their experiences going to certain schools. But just remember, everyone have different journeys in this industry. Whenever I talk to my artist friends and I ask them about their journeys, we all realize that we all got to where we are in different ways. Going to film school can be beneficial, but just because you don't go to film school, it doesn't mean doors are completely closed. Likewise, just because Martin Scorsese went to film school, it doesn't mean that you're automatically going to have the same career that Martin Scorsese had. Anyway, if you guys have any more questions, please let me know in the comments. And if you guys want, I can also make a Q&A video as well. If you like this video, please consider engaging with it, liking, commenting, sharing it, and maybe even subscribe to the channel too. By the way, do you guys like this setup? I made these too. I birthed them. Apart from that, goodbye and have a good day!